30 degrees right now, and there was a lot of news to cover in there, and I think the takeaway for me was eat more Brussels sprouts.
And nobody going to discourage me from that. Absolutely.
I was going to ask you. You like? I love them.
It's myself. My favorite. Literally, one of my favorite foods is Brussels sprouts on the grill. I mean, on the skillet, like not baked. I don't like them baked.
Right. Yeah.
But you put them on the skillet. Put them in the skillet with a little bit of olive
oil.
Butter
them up too.
Bam! Oh my goodness,
Absolutely.
Fabulous.
So the important question really is, how does Father Matt Frisbee feel about Brussels sprouts? And I think we just have to ask him directly. Father Matt, how are you? And what's your opinion on Brussels sprouts?
Good morning, Dave and Ron. Good to be with you. And I like Brussels sprouts. I like roasting them, actually more so than putting them on the skillet.
Oh, wow.
Roast them with a little bit of garlic. I think that's delightful.
Ooh.
Now, of course, I would take asparagus over Brussels sprouts.
Ooh. Now, the roasting over the pudding in the skillet, our group of folks call your group of folks weird. But it's okay. It's okay. I still like you.
No, we just call ourselves healthy. You know?
Healthy, yes.
Yeah, you're right. Now, Father, did you hear the rumor about Arch Manning coming to Ohio State?
I've seen that on the internet the last couple weeks, and but at the same time, I think I saw something on one of the big Ohio State blogs yesterday or the day before, in which Ryan Day kind of said, we're not too interested in getting a transfer quarterback, and there are all sorts of reasons for that. They've got a couple guys in their quarterback room already. They've got another recruit coming in as well, and then on top of it, there's just that sense that with NIL, a going rate for a quarterback, especially a transfer quarterback, is like $2 million.
Yeah, I know he's playing it cool until Aquaman shows up, and then he's like, "Yeah, we'll take Aquaman."
This is just things have gotten out of control in college football, especially with the NIL and transfer portal, and it's basically free agency in college football. There's the veneer of a student athlete is gone, and now it's just for athletes looking to get paid, whether or not they've produced or not.
Right. Well, Arch Manning's a perfect example of that, getting paid big bucks in Texas. He's barely seen the field.
Right, and we can think of Texas's current quarterback, Quinn Ewers, who came to Ohio State, made $1 million. I don't think played a single down, and then went to Texas and by making even more money now too. So it's just, is this college football or is this just a minor league, a farm system for the NFL?
Mm. Now, before we get back together again, the playoffs will have happened. The first part, who do you think wins those first two games and gets to the championship game? We'll get to speak to you before the championship game.
Ooh, I'll tell you, the Texas-Washington game, I think should be a pretty good game. I'm going to go with Texas, though, just in part. Although it's hard to go, vote against Washington, too. Washington, at times, when they've played lesser competition, has squeaked by, and they've been in closer games than they probably should have been. But at the same time, we could take, that was the 2002 Buckeyes as well. But Texas, there's just something about them, even though they did lose, I think, to Kansas at some point in the year. They beat Alabama. They're pretty good on the lines. Very devastating offense. I'm going to go with Texas, although I wouldn't be surprised if Washington wins that. The Michigan-Alabama game, I just don't even know.
Yeah.
Alabama, we could squeak to a game against Auburn and then came out and beat Georgia. So you think maybe Alabama can do it, but Michigan has been very determined and focused all year long. I don't know who to pick in that game, really. Part of me wants to pick Alabama, of course, but but I don't know. I think Michigan may win that too, so we'll see.
That is kind of tough with these lineups. It really is.
And for me personally, having lived down in Alabama for many years and really disliking them with a passion, not quite as much, but it's very close. So I'm like, I don't like either one of them. I wish they could both lose somehow. But I do find it interesting that we have representation from Big 12, Pac-12, SEC, Big 10 with these four teams But in essence, we really only have representation from SEC and Big Ten if we're looking at next year.
Yeah, that's right. And, Chip Kelly was just recently asked about alignment and everything. And I can't summarize it all. And I listened to it briefly yesterday. And I encourage people to go listen to it. It's on YouTube, I'm sure. But he more or less basically said that the realignment should only factor in for football teams, and that for all the other sports, these schools should remain in their conferences. Oh, wow. And I think he's very much right about that. You think for football you play once a week, but for basketball or for some of these other sports, that's multi games a week. And if you're traveling across the country, it's not good for them. So that's one of the things we talked about, and then also just really kind of having a conference of all the Power 5 teams, and then another conference of all the Group of 5 teams, and kind of separating them out that way.
All right, Father Matt, thanks much. We're going to miss you next week, so Merry Christmas in advance.
Merry Christmas. God bless. Hello.